So let's look at activity 2.3.2.5, implementing basic connectivity. Now, here we have an addressing table, and this is going to be something that you're going to see in most packet tracer activities. So basic table here, device S1, S2, PC1, PC2, what interface we're connected to. So on the switches, it's interface VLAN 1. So, and then the IP address and the subnet mask for the VLAN 1 interface on S1. Same thing for S2, VLAN 1 interface for both of the PCs. We've got the NIC and the IP address and the subnet mask that are supposed to be associated with those. So let's dive into this. We're going to start with S1. Go to our CLI, and let's real quick adjust my preferences to make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. 14. That looks a little bit better. All right. So step 1, we're going to configure S1 with a host name. So I'm going to en config t, and its host S1 will set my host name. We're going to use Cisco for the console password. So line con 0, pass Cisco, login. Remember, enforces the login. We want to use class for the privileged exec mode password. Now, normally I would do this in global config mode, but I want to show you something here. The command is enable secret class, and I'm assuming that it wants secret. It might not, but we're going to go for it, and then if it complains, we'll fix it later. So enable secret class, and notice this is a global config mode because it impacts the entire device, not just the console line. So but the iOS kicks me out and executes the command anyway. Verify the password configurations for S1. There's a couple of ways we can do this. Let's start by closing all the way out. And Cisco, en, class, and we got prompted for passwords in both places, so that's great. Config T, let's set a banner, MOTD, not moth. Authorized access only. Violators will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Okay, and then we're going to save the configuration. So we're going to exit out or end out, either one will work. And then we are going to copy, run, start. Okay. Let's do the same thing for switch 2. So it's en config t. Let's do hostname S2. Let's do line con 0 pass Cisco login. Let's do enable secret class. There we go, if I can type correctly. Banner MOTD. Authorized access only. We can capitalize violators. Okay, there we go. And then let's end and copy, run, start. All right, now I normally would not do this, but I want to take a look at this and let's see what our results look like, which our completion doesn't look promising. It says, okay, we've got everything configured so far. We haven't configured our IP addresses on VLAN 1, but we can go through and check all the stuff that we did initially, and we're good. So this is a way that you can come in as you're working on these activities and just check every so often and make sure that the things you've done are actually working correctly. So let's go ahead and close that. You go back over there. Okay, notice it's only giving us 14 out of 88 points. That's okay. Don't get too worked up over that. That'll straighten itself out in time. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do it their way first. We'll configure our PCs. So we're going to come to PC1. We're going to click on it, and we're going to go to Desktop and IP config. And for PC1, we need an address of 192.168.1.1 and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. So perfect. Close that. Let's go to PC2 and not config. Come back. Desktop. There we go. And this one should be 192.168.1.2. Okay, so that was easy enough. Configure PCs, and then let's test connectivity. Let's go to PC1, and from PC1 we are going to ping 192.168.1.2, and we're getting replies, so that's working perfectly. Now in our instructions here it says let's ping 192.168.1.253, and that's S1, so let's give that a shot. Ping 192.168.1.253, and this one comes back with, there we go, request timed out. It's going to do that 4 times. Why cannot we not ping switch 1? Well, if you're thinking it's because we didn't set an IP address on it, you would be correct. So let's let this one think for a while, and we'll come through here and we'll set it on S1. Now, here's the interesting thing. In routers, we set IP addresses on specific interfaces. We're going to interface Gigabit Ethernet 01, and we'll set an IP address. But on switches, we don't set them on physical interfaces. We set them on, they're called switch virtual interfaces, or SVIs. In our configuration, we do it based on VLAN interfaces, which is a switch virtual interface. Different name for the same thing. So let's go to, we're already in privileged exec mode, so it's config T, and let's go to interface VLAN 1. Now before I do this, let's do a show run. And you can see lots of interfaces. Here's our interface VLAN 1. It's shut down with no IP address. So let's go to config T, and we go interface VLAN 1, and INTVL1 is close enough to get there. IP address we're going to set using the command IP add, or IP address, and 192.168.1.253. So it's IP address, the IP address, space, and then we're going to type the subnet mask. All right, and then, if needed, sometimes we need to issue the command no shut. And when we do that, it says interface VLAN 1 change state to up, line protocol on interface VLAN 1 change state to up. Perfect, that's exactly what we want to see. So now, end out, copy, run, start, so we don't lose our work. Let's go to PC1. Command prompt, and now let's try to ping 192.168.1.253. So the first one timed out, but after that we get replies. Now don't worry about that first time out. If I do it again, it's going to work just fine with all 4. That first time out is related to the ARP process, which is something we're going to talk about later on in the quarter, so we're not going to dig into that right now. Let's go ahead and set an IP address on S2. So same thing, config T, interface, VLAN 1, IP add 192.168.1.254, and our subnet mask, and then no shut to activate the interface. ND, copy, run, start. Okay, now if I look down here, it says 88 out of 88 complete. Check results, says, hey, I got it all right. So now I just want to show you something else just for the fun of it. Actually, let me close you and maximize you. Okay, in here we have all of our devices. We can also run a quick test using this little button right here. So it's add a simple PDU. Now in order to do this, your devices have to be configured with an IP address. And what we'll do, it's basically a ping that only pings 1 time. When I go to command prompt in a Windows device and type ping, it does it 4 times. This one does it once. So I'm going to click my first device, I'm going to click my second device. Now, over here, we're actually not seeing, oops, simulation wasn't what I wanted. I wanted let me go back to real-time view. Here, this is what I want. There we go. Had to find the right thing. They moved it around on me. So here was my simple PDU. I went from PC1 to S2 and it was successful. Let me try this. Let me go from PC2 to S1. It shows in progress, failed. Remember, the first ping always fails. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to come over here and we're going to double click that button, and the second time it shows it was successful. So this is, without having to go to command prompt, this is a quick little way that you can test and see if your network connectivity is working correctly.